SMSs. 17 GB of data. That's a lot of data.
17 GB.
17 GB.
Oh, wow, 17 GB. Yeah, my mind is still wrapped around.
At 17 GB of data. And because we know, all of you people, much of your data is actually spent on WhatsApp. WhatsApp is free. So even that 17 GB, you're not spending it on WhatsApp.
No.
WhatsApp is free. 2,000 shillings. All you need to do is go to my Safaricom app and you select the all-in-one package, or you do *544#. *544#. *544#. It brings a suite of options. Choose the Go Monthly option. And then after the Go Monthly option, then select one.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Vitu zinaonaje maneno?
Hiyo leo Safaricom wametuokoa.
Si ndio?
Kabisa.
Wamekuonea mbali. Wakakuja.
Wamejua shida iko Kenya.
Bas. Only 2,000 bob. Welcome, Beatrice. Beatrice Elachi, MP, the Great North constituency. Good to have you back in the studio.
Thank you.
And she's here alongside Wilson Sosion, former NAT Secretary General. Wilson, good morning.
Well, good morning, Latif.
You know, the last time you were advising the government, what are you now? What?
I was advising government.
Yeah.
No, I don't have any official position of
official.
advising.
Not official. I asked you whether it's official now that you're not getting the CAS position, and you said we are helping.
Yes, of course. It's
very good.
Yeah, so we speak out within that space and outside that space. Like this platform. This is your platform. This is not a government platform.
It is not.
So I'll speak my mind to Kenyans and to government at the same time.
And that's why I
speak freely.
We like inviting you so that you can speak freely. You're here, both of you, so we can talk about education. And before we delve into matters of education, Ndu will tell you about Loop. Why wait while you can loop it?
Why wait where you can loop it? Let's talk about Loop for business this morning, right? So downloading the Loop app as a person who is in business allows you to do a number of things. You can pay merchants, you can pay your business utility bills, you can accept payment from merchants. Those who are buying and selling on this app allows you to do everything that you need to do as concerns your business. You can then also post your promotional ideas and your promotional material on the app so that everybody else who is on the app gets to see what you're up to. You can also then get to accept easy payments from your clients. You can also look at ways in which you can transact without an issue whatsoever. So Loop is for everybody, but today at this point focusing on business and what it really allows you to do. So look at that world where you can accept and make payments, you can transact, you can get the best rates for these transactional fees, as well as post and promote your business on the app. So all we're asking you to do today is get onto your Apple App Store or your Google Play Store, download the Loop app and get into this world of business where everything works well and works concurrently. And really, the question is, why wait?
Well, you can loop it. Very good. I'm going to welcome you with the day's proverb, courtesy of City. You know what City does. He has left us with the proverbs. This week, the proverbs are from Libya. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. And I know, there are people who say Libya is two parts of Libya. No. We are dealing with Libya, the country, whose headquarters is Tripoli. Ile ingine, watajisort. The naked man in the caravan has peace of mind. He whose covering belongs to others is uncovered. The naked man in the caravan has peace of mind. He whose covering belongs to others is uncovered. I'll start with you, Mtumishi Beatrice Elachi.
The naked man
in the caravan has peace of mind.
Peace of mind.
Yep. He whose covering belongs to others is uncovered.
Is uncovered?
Yes.
Hey, if the naked man is in a caravan and has peace, the one who is outside now is the one who has no peace of what is happening now there.
She said, what is happening out there?
What is happening out there?
What's going on here?
The naked man... You know, there are people, let's say, for example, in our country, who are out there. They have a lot of peace in their mind. A lot. Especially, let's say, those who are in the rural in the forests. They have no idea this naked world that we are in on this other side, how we are bungling each other and uncovering each other. And I think government is in that state at the moment. When I look at the
Government
political...
is the forest.
When I know the people are the forest. When I look at government today, I am wondering what is happening there. They are uncovering each other in a manner that is not very good. That will... you find now the Mwananchi is having more peace than the person who decided to get into this government. So I think I will say that it is important for us to look, and I'm putting it in our political landscape. For the last 2 days, what I have seen, that uncovering of each other is not going to help anyone. And they need to look at it properly. And they realize that those who are inside somewhere are looking at them and wondering what is happening and where are they taking the country.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Association?
You know, Mwalimu Nyerere, one time when the World Bank was pressurizing African countries to live on loans, he told Tanzanians, we would rather live in poverty but happy than to rely on World Bank money. So if somebody has covered himself with clothes that does not belong to him, then it's a bother. It's not yours. Yes, you are in some sort of comfort, some bliss, some happiness, some glory, but what is giving you glory is not yours.
It's false.
It is false. It is utter pretense. But someone who doesn't have any clothes, doesn't bother about anything, you enjoy, you are in peace, you are not bothered whether you have a cloth or not. So this is a matter of choice. What is yours is yours. When you don't have, you don't have. Yeah. But you don't cheat yourself with others.
Oh, yeah.
When you're beholden.
Yes.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Thank you very much. I want to start with you, Wilson. The country is still in shock at what happened at Hillside in Russia. And we had 3 days of national mourning last week. The post-mortem exercise has been going on. There are parents who still want to find out. They want closure. They just want to, their children identified, and then they can go ahead and conduct some sort of just closure ceremonies, whether it's burials or not. But this is not the first time that we see fires like this happening in schools. It's happened many times before. We've had a conversation with you before about school fires. When you see what happened in Russia, and then you see these other fires in the other schools, what immediately comes to mind?
And I've got to relive my conversations with you last time here. I talked about two things that have collapsed at the education sector. Accountability structures for the funds that we send to school. Nobody audits. Nobody checks. And we put in so much money that nobody really gives feedback of the value it does. That's one. Number two, deliberate collapse of quality assurance and standard or inspectorate section, so that our schools are not inspected against the set out policies and the minimum standards. And nothing much has changed. Nobody seems to listen. Nobody seems to care. And so in the Russia to me, it didn't surprise me. It didn't, and there are many other Russias out there. If you look at Russia, for example, the dormitory, the school is private. That's number one. Now, being private, what is our policy about enforcement of regulations and compliance of minimum standard by private schools in Kenya? Who gave the license and the permit for the school to operate without meeting the minimum standards? Why? Look at the dormitory. It's made of timber. The partitions is made of timber. The beds are made of timber. And the doors are locked from outside at night. And it is congested. You know, when you make a timber dormitory, you're preparing an incinerator to incinerate children. And I don't think within the plans and designs of the ministry, dormitories made of timber are approved for any school. That would be a great and inherent risk.
I think there are
That is
standards that clearly stipulate the
yeah,
materials to be used.
Of course. No, there is no provision for building up of wooden structures as dormitories in our schools, particularly when you're talking about boarding schools, secondary schools, primary school. I don't think there is that provision. We did. That said, all our buildings must meet minimum international standards.
And so you're saying if there was standard quality assurance, that they would have been able to
That
find
would have
out
been
that such a thing existed and done something about it.
Yes,
Okay.
but then even the quality assurance would have generated a report before the registration of the schools. Was that done? There are many questions that goes into it. And you see, there was an allegation that it was an electric fault. We have found a very good excuse of hiding behind electric faults with these coal fires. But since Kenya Power has come out and has dismissed that allegation that there was no electric fault, so that this fire at Endarasha was deliberate arson, is a criminal action. And yes, it's criminal action. That's a fact. Those who fear saying so, yes, let's accept to mourn, but also let's take action. The DCI, DPP, they should be able to get those responsible. But who must bear the responsibility? Two people, the proprietor of the school and the Minister of Education. Whoever authorized the certification of the school to operate, a person must take responsibility. We must learn to punish those who violate crimes and violate our policies, but we should not allow cartels to reign supreme in the sector. You know what is happening if private schools are getting a leeway to put up substandard structures and violate regulations merely to make business using our children. That indeed is immoral, it's unacceptable. It is not educational at all, it's unpatriotic. And therefore, to me, this must be punished. For deterrent reasons, this must be punished. The proprietor of the school and the ministry. We don't need to talk about it, mourn, put the flag at half-mast for a few days and forget about it. And then we continue again witnessing fires in secondary schools, and fires are in dormitories. I said it in 2017, 2018. I talked about very loudly that we must be able to check why are dormitories being banned? Why not classrooms? Why not labs? Why not dining halls? Why not food stores? The students know. Why not school buses? Why only the dormitory? You know, the Jubilee administration, and you see, this is where when we take over even education and we run it politically using cartels, these are the things we get. And we don't seem to be getting out of that that platform. We still run cartel issues. When Jubilee administration woke up from nowhere and directed that we have 100% transition to secondary school without giving proper guidelines and conversation, because if we needed 100% transition, we should have restricted it to day schools and controlled enrollment in boarding schools. But now what happened, coupled with the amount of money that comes with capitation, the more the students, the more the capitation, and the more the business in procurement, the more the corruption, the more the everything that you know all about. So the easiest thing to do is to congest students in dormitories. Some schools have prepared triple deckers. Some students are sleeping in 2s and 3s, and with poor sanitation and with poor everything. What do you expect students to do? To react? To me, this banning of dormitories is being executed by students to express their disaffection. And I wonder how long it's going to take us to understand this. The 100% transition, that caused the over-enrollment and congestion in boarding schools very deliberately, is something that was not checked. We should have executed 100% transition through clear professional policies guided by quality assurance and with inspection reports of preparedness of schools in terms of infrastructure and boarding, and schools that do not have capacity to accommodate extra students in boarding should be restricted not to do so. Because what we are witnessing
is something else.
Yes.
Let
If
me pause
you visit some of these secondary schools where there's a lot of congestion, you will weep and you luckily shed tears.
What are we saying here, Wilson? Are we saying that we do not have a sufficient number of secondary schools in this country to accommodate the children that are coming from primary school? If we have
how many day schools do we have? How many day secondary schools do you have in Kenya? And all you need for day secondary schools is classrooms, laboratories, and available teachers, and that's enough. You don't need anything else. And I need to tell you, if we go by data, I have been a very strong proponent of day education for the entire period I've been in leadership at NAT. And I helped put up very many day schools in Bomet, and this has been a general campaign through EFA goals, Education for All goals, 2000 to 2015, which advocated for all children to come to school. And we could not do it without opening up day education in Kenya and enhancing quality. And I can tell you that today in 2024, 74% of the students in secondary schools are in day schools. They are day scholars. They are doing well, and Kenyans have accepted it has become a norm. And in terms of national exams at KCSE level, we have quite a number of them scoring A's and doing very well and proceeding to universities.
So then why do we have congestion in the boarding school?
The congestion in boarding school is more to do with business and lack of regulation of enrollment and operations of boarding schools.
Is it that we have fewer boarding schools than that would?
We need more anyway. We need to phase them out. If we are at 74%, day education, we can move even up to 90%. Let me tell you what happens in many jurisdictions.
What leads to this
in terms of systems? Let me tell you what happens in many jurisdictions in terms of systems. If you go to the US, for example, all schools are almost day. All schools. And government provides free transport to all children. And that's the responsibility of the respective counties within the different states. The boarding schools are only meant for the approved in the US. That is the US. If you go to Philippines, all schools are day on the absolute up to Form 4 at the basic education. If you go to the north, the UK and the rest, it's more or less the same, except in the UK there are very good boarding schools. You see, like the royal family, because the king and the people, they were travelers and people around the world. So boarding was essential and promoted. But in Africa, where we are, we have got that kasumba of boarding because the boarding schools were meant to civilize Africans against their culture and everything. But now that since we are an independent country and we are talking about equitable quality education for all, we should not have all this discrimination of classifications of schools. Some are boarding and whatnot, and where children are even dumped as early as grade 4. Grade 4, you are dumping a child, and we are talking about development of values. Values is a continuum between home setting and the school, and that is why I think as a country we no longer need much of boarding schools, and the 100% transition could have worked extremely well if it was focused on day school and investments done in day school, investment in terms of building up quality modern classrooms, quality laboratories, deploying adequate teachers, and providing a broad-based curriculum that is available anywhere. The students will still do very well, and we have seen this. It works.
Well, sure. Elachi, you spoke about this, and we went over it last week. I mean, to a certain degree, where you echoed the same words that Wilson speaks about this morning, and you said that there's no need. You can't have a grade 4 pupil. You shouldn't have a grade 4 pupil, grade 3 pupil boarding. And that, are we looking at a displacement of values when it shows that so many children then are boarding? And if we're looking at congestion in schools, and we can say that how many day schools are there in the country, is it not possible to have as many students as possible in these day schools. But then also looking at the situation where many parents look at a solution whereby they don't have to worry about other things because their children are in school. They don't have to worry about another meal. That's a reality. They don't have to worry about transport. They don't have to worry about 1, 2, 3. How do you create that balance?
Well, first, I agree with Sosion, and I agree. I'm believing that as we go through CBC, we'll be able to try and bring back a few of these guidelines in terms of children being in primary school, day school, up to year 9. So year 10, you can go to boarding. You are able to start taking care of yourself. But at the same time, it's because of poverty that we have taken advantage of boarding schools. But then when you look at, if you say poverty, then you realize it's not the poor, again, who go to boarding school. It is parents who have challenges maybe because of work. I'm supposed to work somewhere else and my children are somewhere else. The best place to place them is in a boarding school because of all the challenges we face with our nannies and all that. But then when you look at the crises that are there today, during our time, we were very lucky. Even when you were in school, there were some values you were able to still pick on. But you realize today, I don't know if it is something as parents we have done wrong to our children, or somewhere because of that boarding school, we left a gap that our children are in a crisis in, and we can't see. Because when we were in, for example, in Machakos on Friday, and you look at how the students are asking questions and even commanding, and you're like, in our time, this will not have happened. As much as we would be disgruntled, all of us who are here will not have done the things our children are doing today. And at that time, this child doesn't believe even her own upkeep can be shared. Yet in our time, you take your money back home to take others in high school. And this was money that was meant for you, which is a loan.
Yep.
And here my child is telling me that, why are you even giving me a loan? But in he or her mind, I was asking myself, from home, have you just left your mom wondering even where to get transport to take you to school? So if you are unable to understand that, and you're questioning, why do you bring my parent in this? Why is it that? And I said, no. We've lost our children. This generation, we've lost it. And we need to think through and see how to just help the ones who are coming through CBC to be the ones who will come up and become a different generation also, to build the country.
Let's take a break. We'll continue this conversation shortly. Beatrice Elachi is a member of parliament for Dagoretti North constituency. Wilson Sosion is former Secretary General of the Kenya National Union of Teachers, former MP as well. Here we are talking about the education sector and looking at what is ailing the sector, what needs to happen.